Welcome! Today I'm going to read you some passages from one of the books written by a man who has had so much control over all of our lives without us even knowing it. His name? Edward Bernays. I don't have much of a budget. Edward Bernays is a propagandist who created a system of mass manipulation that's still in place today. His system utilized his uncle Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic insights to manipulate the public outside of their awareness by playing to their emotions and their deepest desires. In his book, Propaganda, he said this: "The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element of democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism form an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country. We are governed, our minds are molded, our tastes are formed, our ideas are suggested, largely by men we have never heard of." Among some of his writings are Manipulating Public Opinion, The Why and the How, the book titled Public Opinion, the book titled Propaganda. Yes, it's called Propaganda. My favorite title of his, The Engineering of Consent. The Engineering of Consent. Yeah, she said no, but I was engineering consent. Come on! That's what the engineering of consent is convincing the public to say yes to something that they're not ready to say yes to. Edward Bernays rapes the mind of the public. He did back then, and he continues to now, because his system is still in place. And the book that we'll be reading from today, Crystallizing Public Opinion. There's a really interesting story about the book Crystallizing Public Opinion. During World War II, Joseph Goebbels, how do you say it?
Joseph Goebbels.
That guy used Bernays' book, Crystallizing Public Opinion, as a playbook for Nazi propaganda. Bernays even admits that his book was used in his autobiography. It must have been really uncomfortable because Freud, a Jewish-born psychoanalyst, was stuck in Germany trying to escape. Oops! The section I'm going to be reading from is called The Functions of the Special Pleader. That's Bernays' word for propagandist. The Public Relations Counsel is first of all a student. His field of study is the public mind. His textbooks for this study are the facts of life. The articles printed in newspapers and magazines, the advertisements that are put inside of publications, the billboards that line the streets, the railroads and the highways, the speeches that are delivered in legislative chambers, the sermons issuing from the pulpit, anecdotes related in smoking rooms, the gossip of Wall Street, the patter of the theater, and the conversations of other men who, like him, are interpreters and must listen for the clear or obscure enunciations of the public. In other words, the function of the special pleader is to collect mass intelligence for the purpose of mass manipulation. I can't wait to find out what the next function of a special pleader is. First of all, there are circumstances and events he helps create. I'm going to repeat that. There are circumstances and events he helps create. Bernays loved creating news events. That was his thing. He would have a picture in his mind of what he wanted to make happen, and he would set people up, agent provocateurs, so to speak, put them in places, have the dominoes lined up, tip the dominoes, and poof! There's a news event. Everybody watching thinks it's a real and natural event, whether they hear it on the radio, see it on TV, or witness it live. They don't know that Bernays fabricated it in his little weasel mind. But he did. He worked with the CIA. He did this in Guatemala to help overthrow a sitting, democratically elected president. He did this for corporations to help boost the sales of cigarettes. It's kind of like if you wanted everybody to see you as a hero. So you decide to pay this guy $50 to go act like he's going to rob this girl, steal her purse. In the middle of it, you come up and you just beat the hell out of him and save the day. Everybody sees you as a hero. But this guy knows that you and him set it up together. You creep. Picking back up from the events that the special pleader helps create, Bernays goes on to tell us about the instruments he used to broadcast this news. There are instruments by which he broadcasts facts and ideas to the public. Advertising, motion pictures, circular letters, booklets, handbills, speeches, meetings, parades, news articles, magazine articles, and whatever other mediums there are through which the public attention is reached and influenced. So in Bernays' system, you create the news, you create the facts, and then you deliver the information to the public through the controlled channels of communication. You can create any reality you want. In this next passage, Bernays speaks to the skill set that the special pleader must develop in order to master this art of mass manipulation that he so loves. Now, the sensitiveness to the state of mind of the public is a difficult thing to achieve or maintain. Any man can tell you with more or less accuracy and clearness his own reactions on a particular issue, but few men have the time or the interest or the training to develop a sense of what other persons think or feel about the same issue. In his own profession, the skilled practitioner is sensitive and understanding. The ability to estimate group reactions on a large scale over a wide geographic and psychological area is a specialized ability, which must be developed with the same painstaking self-criticism and with the same dependence on experience that are required for the development of the clinical sense in the doctor or the surgeon. Bernays is talking about mastering the art of crowd psychology, of understanding human behavior, what motivates people, how to influence them, how to influence a single person, how to influence a group of people, how people react when they're by themselves, how they react when they're in the crowd. This is important because these world leaders and these politicians, people like Bernays, have been studying crowd psychology, influence, manipulation tactics since they were kids. They've been trained to be skilled manipulators since they could walk. While we're told that psychology is a soft science that we don't really need to fool with because we can't measure it with cold, hard statistics, which is actually kind of not true. But the fact is, psychology, understanding human behavior, understanding how mass crowd psychology works, enables us to protect ourselves from these manipulation tactics that people like Bernays use on us. In this passage, Bernays is talking about what Walter Lippmann said about the need for a press agent. Mr. Lippmann finds in these facts the underlying reason for the existence of what he calls the press agent. The enormous discretion, he says, as to what facts and what impressions shall be reported is steadily convincing every organized group of people that whether it wishes to secure publicity or to avoid it, the exercise of discretion cannot be left to the reporter. It is safer to hire a press agent who stands in between the group and the newspapers. So next time somebody says, "What, you don't believe the official story?" Say, "No, hell no. No, I don't believe the official story." Fool. That's all the Bernays for today. That's it.